AI can't make the decision for you, but it can reflect your thinking, it can organize your learnings, and it can accelerate your next best step. It's a thought partner, a strategist, a mirror, and honestly, a huge leverage point from a leadership perspective. It's not meant to outsource your thinking. It's really there to help you have more clarity, faster momentum, and give you the ability to focus on the things that are very human and are unique to your venture because you are unique to your venture. Welcome to Everyday Innovation, your go to podcast for enhancing your creative and entrepreneurial process. I'm Jordan DeVecchia, a multi passionate creator entrepreneur, venture studio co founder, and business designer and advisor. Here we live at the intersection of creativity, strategy, and personal development. Join me for inspiring conversations, actionable practices, and insight infusions designed to shift your mindset and empower you with tools and resources to create impactful ventures. Get ready to take your ideas to the next level and innovate with purpose. Welcome back to the Everyday Innovation podcast. So, in the last episode, we talked about how to integrate AI into your venture with intention. But today, we're flipping that. This episode isn't about putting AI into your business, it's about how you can use AI to build it. Specifically, how you can use AI tools as a creative or strategic partner through every stage of the venture design process. So, if you haven't listened to episode 27, which is redefining venture design for creative leaders, or episode 29, Designing the Strategic Why Behind AI, pop back to those to get a foundation for the venture design process that I like to use, as well as a bit of a perspective shift on how to put structure into your AI strategy. So, this episode is going to be really great for those of you who are building a startup or a creative product, people who are running an internal innovation team, leading portfolio strategy at a private equity or venture capital firm, or maybe designing something new and you just want some sharper insight, faster iteration, and better decision making overall. So, we're going to walk through each of the 5 venture design phases, which are clarify, architect, validate, activate, and integrate. And I'm going to show you how AI can support you inside each one of those, not by replacing your creativity, but helping you enhance it. And all of these are going to have some prompts in there as well. Keep in mind they're going to be super, super high level. So, with prompt engineering, you want to tailor it as much as you can to you as a founder, your team, the project that you're working on, give it a whole lot of context, but I'll give you some inspiration for some like high level thinking to start the process. So hopefully you'll leave this episode with actionable ideas, maybe some prompt styling and some perspective shifts that'll help you move faster, think clearer, and build smarter. Okay, so let's start with the first section, which is clarify. It's often overlooked, but I really think it's so essential when building anything new, right? You can't accelerate something that you don't fully understand yet. So, how can AI help us see clearer faster? So, the purpose of this is to clarify the venture's reason for existing, the market need, your unique angle, and what success actually looks like. So, how can we use AI here? You can first clarify your positioning and your founder vision. AI is really good at reflecting your thinking back to you. So think of the beginning of any project, any venture. You have 1,000 ideas and a lot of different ways that it could happen. And a lot of times we get stuck in analysis paralysis, or you just get lost in the jumble of all of these ideas, all of the ways that it could happen. And it's just this amorphous mess. Give that to AI. You could write this as like a founder letter or a purpose memo, or what I love to do is just totally info dump, give every single bit of context and information that you can put together. And I'm thinking about this or possibly this, and let it summarize it for you. Summarize this in one sentence, or what themes or threads can you pull here? This can help surface the values and themes that are already driving you and already inspiring this project. You can also use it to unpack market signals. So, tools like Perplexity or ChatGPT can help you summarize your competitor positioning. You can look for potentially like white space in the market. And you can also compare messaging across similar offerings. So, even a prompt you could have is based on these 3 landing pages. What's a shared value prop and what's missing? So, if you're looking at other tools that are on the market that may do something similar to what you're doing as well. You can also use it for customer insights and sentiment analysis. So you can drop in like some survey answers, comments, DMs, testimonials, and you can ask AI to cluster these themes or get exact pain points. So if you have a built up community, you can leverage that by asking some questions to them and then taking that data, giving it to AI, and letting it clarify something that can be part of your initial value proposition. So, really, this isn't just research in the beginning, it's reflecting back to you a lot of things that probably you already know, but haven't fully clarified yet. So, it'll help you see the pattern beneath those ideas so that you can design from purpose. So, the next phase is architect. So, when you have clarity already on what you're building and why, you need to start to shape the how of it. This is the architecture, this is the bones of your business, and AI can help you map it out faster than any old whiteboard could, even though I love whiteboards, but a mix of them is the best, right? So, this is the place to shape the structures, the systems, the business model, and the operational approach. This is how you can use AI here. You can sketch business models, maybe MVP flows. So, for example, you could use ChatGPT to prototype your offer delivery, monetization path, and maybe even onboarding. So, a prompt that you could give it is I want to design a high touch membership that scales. Help me design a tiered model with lean operations and three core revenue streams. So that'll allow you to start to get the shape of how this could come together and how the offer could come together. And then it'll start getting you into the thought of how are people going to experience this? And then how is this actually going to run and work? What are the systems behind it? So speaking of systems, another space that you could use in is designing your systems and back-end processes. So you can ask AI to help you define your customer journey, internal handoffs, automation points. Prompt could be help me outline a customer journey for a digital product for coaching, include key moments to automate or personalize. Obviously, you'd put a lot more context in that, but it can help you map out that journey and then figure out where you need a bit more high touch, where you can lean in and be the human as part of that co creation process, and where can we automate some things and leverage the tech so that we can utilize our energy in the best possible way and make it the most efficient. And then also, you can utilize this to map roles, hiring needs, and even establish early team culture. A lot of times, it can be really tough, especially early on, to draft those early role descriptions or even just craft some early cultural principles. But AI can help you do that, especially amongst, let's say, even like an early team. When it's one person, that can be a challenge in and of itself. But even when you have multiple co-founders, sometimes it takes a minute to kind of feed in all of your needs, your processes, shaping that early culture. What are all of your shared values? Who are you looking for in your next hire from different perspectives, right? You can leverage AI to help you do that. So, for example, you could write a prompt that says, write a job description for an operator to support a founder led business to business venture in the growth phase. We want to emphasize strategic thinking and systems building. So again, that's just a starter for that. You can add a lot more context to it. But what's great about AI is it can take those different perspectives. It can add in the nuance of your company culture. It may suggest things that you could have missed, and it also can put it in the right language to put it on to LinkedIn or to send to a recruiter, or that would make sense in the job search process so that you're found by the person that needs to find you, which is the talent, right? So the goal in this phase isn't perfection. It's really trying to get to that fast iteration. It'll help you prototype the infrastructure better so you can see what's worth investing in and what's just busy work, right? So AI can help you pinpoint those pieces. So the next phase is validate. So this is the phase where a lot of ideas either evolve or die. So you want to make sure that validation isn't about making things perfect. It's really about learning as fast as you possibly can so you can wipe the slate clean so you can get through the rest of the process, right? And this is where AI can give you those superpowers. So the purpose of this phase is to test your assumptions, gather some feedback, and de-risk the venture before launching it. So, how can you use AI in this space? You could use it for rapid prototype generation. So, you could use AI to write some test copy for you, wireframe some ideas, or even simulate email sequences or landing pages. For example, you could write a prompt that says, write a no code landing page for an AI driven journaling app that focuses on mental wellness for founders. And you can utilize that to get some feedback and to see where it could be improved upon, especially before launch, and to see if it's addressing the core value proposition for that. And also, it can stand there even before you've developed the full product. Let's see if you're correctly identifying the problem and the proper solution to it. So it can even simulate objections and response testing as well. So you could prompt AI to play the role of a skeptical customer. So, for example, you could, let's say you're wanting to work with a certain type of founder, but maybe this founder has come across tools that have burned them in the past, or they've been really confusing. So if they were to role play with you and they read your landing page copy, for example, what questions or hesitations would they have when reading this? And how could you make it better or address those objections before they even have to ask you, right? And then you can also cluster and extract insights from the real user feedback. So you're getting some early feedback prior to launch. You can feed those user responses into AI and ask for recurring themes, objections, or maybe some aha moments. So a lot of this validation piece tends to be very, very slow, especially without AI. So leveraging AI can allow us to take some of that data early on instead of waiting till the integration phase, which I'll talk about in a couple more. You can get ahead of that and get some early feedback and make sure that you're focusing on the right things pre-launch. So with these right prompts, the AI can help you gather signal quickly so you don't overinvest in the wrong version of your idea. The next phase would be activate. So now that the idea is working, you've got some clarity, you've got some structure, you've got some feedback, you can go live. So this is the activate phase. So this is how you bring your offer into the world. And you do that through story, through strategy, and really through your process and your rhythm. So the purpose behind this phase is to launch the venture offer with intention and with narrative clarity. How can you use AI here? You can co-develop your go-to-market narrative. So you can ask AI to help you distill that value prop into different tones or formats for each platform. So you might be sharing that sort of elevator pitch type one-liner different ways in different places, whether it's a bio, whether it's in a newsletter intro, whether it is something that you do in person, whatever it might be. You could say, turn this core offer statement into three different versions. So let's say, Threads bio, one is for an Instagram post, and another one is for an intro email subject line. And you want to put the tone as confident and friendly. Over time, of course, you'll be establishing your tone using custom instructions, especially for writing and communicating in content. That really takes a lot more of the human touch and human input. Another great, great, great use case in this particular phase is launch planning. Launch planning can be so overwhelming, especially organizing it in a cohesive manner. I really love using the ChatGPT like O3 mini to create a launch timeline. So you could say create a 3-week launch timeline with daily prompts for building anticipation and engagement with my email list. So whether it is daily prompts for building anticipation or there are other factors that are needed, I can create a table for you, can help create like a launch calendar for you. And you don't have to overthink and have decision paralysis of where to post when and how to repurpose this or that. You can leverage AI for that. And speaking of repurposing is a huge advantage of leveraging AI. So it's not even just having a consistent narrative, even if it changes across channels, it's even taking things like a longer blog post or a longer newsletter and repurposing that content into shorter versions. So it's not just rephrasing it, it's taking it and breaking it down and making it into its own type of content. So, for example, and you can ask it to summarize this blog post into 3 LinkedIn posts or maybe Instagram carousel, or turn this into a video script. So you don't have to invent your launch strategy from scratch every single time. It can help you build that consistent messaging that's still emotionally resonant and human. And you're not having to decide, okay, what should I post on what day and here and there. It can give you a lot of really great ideas that all you need to do is just plug and play and follow. And then the last phase is integration. And this is the phase that I feel like most people underplay and most founders skip. But it's where you get the lessons, evolve your process, and you're able to make your future's decisions a whole lot easier. So, the purpose of the integrate phase is to review your results, refine your systems, and evolve your strategy. So, the way that you can use AI here is, of course, post launch analysis. So, you want to feed all your metrics and all of your qualitative reflections in here, like, make it as messy as possible. It can just be some sales reports, how people sign up to your email list, what was your engagement on certain posts, all anything that seems like it could be relevant, you can leverage AI and you can ask and say, "Help me summarize the key learnings from this launch and suggest 3 hypotheses for what to test next." So you don't have to be overwhelmed by all this qualitative, quantitative data. It can paint a whole picture for you and you can then make decisions from there, or you can share that with potential investors or other stakeholders. It can also help you with your process refinement and your standard operating procedures. So you can use AI to help draft some SOPs based on what worked or a launch plan based on what worked. Based on this launch, here were the successful pieces. Here's some of the data to show like how this went, how that went, and it can start to put together a launch plan that you can use every single time and you can decide what to innovate and what to just keep consistent every single time or what never to do again, right? You can also use it for energy and for team reflection. You want to also leverage during this innovation process, like, how was my energy spent? Was there a return on investment for that? What were some roadblocks for my team? Is that something in the future we can delegate, we can remove, we can innovate, we can double down on, depending on how it went, right? So you can ask it, like, give me some founder reflection questions. Help me decide whether to scale this offer or to sunset it. So, really, integration is where you take the knowledge and make it into wisdom. AI can't make the decision for you, but it can reflect your thinking, it can organize your learnings, and it can accelerate your next best step. So, honestly, whether you're building something from scratch or evolving a product that's already existing, you can use AI as more than a tool. It's really your partner. It's a thought partner, a strategist, a mirror, and honestly, a huge leverage point from a leadership perspective. But it's not meant to outsource your thinking. It's really there to help you have more clarity, faster momentum, and give you the ability to focus on the things that are very human and are unique to your venture because you are unique to your venture. So, if you're listening to this or watching this prior to this newsletter coming out, it may not be out yet. You can go to everydayinnovation.io and subscribe so you'll make sure to get the guide that goes along with this newsletter. Otherwise, it'll already be up. You'll see it as like a blog post on there so you can have a little companion, some reminders on how to leverage AI in your venture design process. And if you need some extra help, or if you're looking for some extra guidance in this space, I do have applications open to work with me. I'm not doing a menu of different workshops and call times or my voice note advisory. What I like to do is to have people apply and kind of share what stage they're in, just a couple of quick questions, and then I will shoot over an email with a couple of suggestions on what could be next steps. So you have no pressure, totally your choice, but I like to do a little bit more bespoke because there may be something that looks good, but it might not be the right fit for you, whether that is a more intensive option or even like a very chill, quick session that may be the best choice for you anyway. So I want to make sure that I give you my best foot forward and offer the things that I think will give you the most leverage. So make sure to check that out. That's in the show notes. But until next time, build clearly, integrate intentionally, and keep leveraging what's true to you. I'll see you in the next episode.